This game is brilliant. Okay, in my last video about the Reignited trilogy, I said, the original Spyro 4 was Enter the Dragonfly, and we all know how that turned out. The bar cannot be lower, the new one can't possibly be any worse. But I realised I hadn't actually played it in years, maybe in over a decade, so I thought, why not revisit it? Is it really as bad as people say?
Oonga! We teach tourists how to play drums, tickety-ticky style. Tiki-tiki oonga boom! Digi-digi lolo.
Oh no. Spyro Enter the Dragonfly is a direct sequel to Spyro Year of the Dragon, and the dragon hatchlings are about to receive their own dragonfly companions, like Sparks is to Spyro. But after Hunter gets jump scared by a sorceress balloon, Ripto turns up and crashes the party. He wants to capture all the dragonflies so that the power of the dragons will be weakened. Unfortunately for him, his spell goes wrong and he accidentally scatters the dragonflies all across the dragon realms. By the way, for such a momentous occasion, there doesn't seem to be a single adult dragon around. They're all just living it up in Dragonfly Dojo. Humiliated by his rubbish scepter, Ripto escapes with Crush and Gulp, who can speak now for some reason.
Yeah. What do we want this time, boss?
I don't know how to feel about this. Also, keep in mind that his scepter has a disco ball on top. Wait, Sparks is gone. Oh no, hang on, he's just been teleported 10 feet away. It's fine. Spyro and Sparks reunite and Bianca gives the purple dragon a rune for bubble breath. Spyro takes it to the spirit dragon, who resides in a statue and gets the ability to shoot bubbles from his mouth. These bubbles can capture stray dragonflies. As you might have guessed, capturing dragonflies is the main goal of the game. The more you get, the more levels you unlock. And when I say levels, I mean 9 levels. There are only 9 of them in the game, including the hub world. Year of the Dragon, for comparison, had around 29 or so, depending on what you class as a level. That game also had 4 home worlds, whereas Enter the Dragonfly has 1. Something went very wrong during this game's development. There are other YouTube videos that can give you more of the details, but essentially the developers were not very experienced, and Universal, the owner of Spyro at the time, kept asking them to change things on a tight deadline. The main developers were Check 6, while Equinoxe provided the art assets. The result of this studio meddling is a game that has the faintest shadow of Spyro's PS1 days, like Tom Kenny voicing Spyro and Greg Berger voicing Ripto and Hunter, but not much else. The levels have similar structures to their PS1 counterparts, but the heart and soul are just missing. Also, there's a cutscene that shows Ripto Crush and Gulp appearing on the other side of the portal after escaping the party, and Ripto finds out that the dragonflies have been scattered. But this happens halfway through the game. It should have played at the beginning, where it would have made much more sense. But I'm not going to pile on this game for the whole video, because I do have some positive things to say, and I should know because I beat this thing 100%. First of all, Spyro talks back to NPCs this time. He gave the dragons a bit of backchat in Spyro 1, but in Spyro 2 and 3 he was silent during NPC dialogue. Here, he's not.
No problem. I'll keep a nose out for your friends. I think I can smell them roasting off in the distance. Just kidding.
What a hero. I think the idea of catching dragonflies in bubble breath is actually really creative. It can be annoying trying to actually use the bubble breath, but the idea is cool, and I think it deserves recognition. The game has more than just bubble breath though. There's electric breath and ice breath, both of which have different uses in gameplay, like activating antennas. They're not amazing uses of these new breaths, but again, the idea is cool and would be revisited in future Spyro games. One thing I thought was really cute was seeing the baby dragons in the first level, Dragonfly Dojo. One of them, Rusty, was actually in Year of the Dragon as an egg you collected. It shows that Check 6 cared about making a Spyro game that would seamlessly follow on from the PS1 trilogy, even if the game fell well short of their ambitions. Okay, this next one was unintentional, but the swimming glitch is one of the best bugs I've ever experienced. Not the best, but one of the best. It's so easy to pull off and it feels great. You can't really do much with it except swim out of bounds, but still, it feels like you're flying. Also, you know those egg thieves in the PS1 games? They're back, but this time they also have their own level, Thieves' Den, which is awesome by itself, but even better is that some of the gems and gem baskets have been turned into enemies, so you have to defeat them first before you can collect the treasure. That's such a cool idea. Finally, the music is great. Stuart Copeland is back as the main composer, and the Dragon Realms theme is so comforting to me. I don't think the soundtrack as a whole is as memorable as the PS1 trilogy, but it's good stuff. I actually have fond memories of this game, believe it or not. I enjoyed it as a kid, and I remember playing it while a blizzard was going on outside, so it felt super cozy even though I knew it was nowhere near the level of the PS1 Spyro games. But you know what really tugged at my emotions this time? The final message at the end of the credits. Your work is you. don't let you down. Oh my god, knowing that those developers went through hell and back to get this game on store shelves, and they knew it wasn't up to scratch, makes seeing that message heartbreaking. So yes, I'm definitely going to talk about why you shouldn't play Enter the Dragonfly yourselves, but please keep in mind that humans made this game, actual humans who don't deserve any vitriol, especially not for something made over 20 years ago, okay? Good. But before we move on, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. I'd really appreciate it. Also, let me know in the comments what you think of Spyro Enter the Dragonfly. Wait. What just happened? Okay, it's worth noting that I played this on an emulator for ease of recording, so maybe a few of the issues I encountered are to do with that, but seriously, this game is nuts. Plus, I'm pretty sure the entire world disappearing around you is a known bug. I will say though that emulating it made the frame rate better than it normally is on native hardware. If you play it on a PS2 or GameCube, prepare yourself for frame drops and slowdown. A lot of slowdown. But the controls, oh my god, the controls are awful here. There's no other way of describing them except to say that moving Spyro feels like trying to run in a swimming pool. Maybe that's because I've come off of playing the Reignited trilogy. Still, it's a fact that the controls are different because Check 6 had none of the code from the original PS1 games. Universal just didn't give it to them, either because they didn't want to, or because they never had it in the first place. So Check 6 kinda had to recreate how Spyro moved based on vibes, and for whatever reason, those vibes were dripping with molasses. The character models are something else. I don't know why they're so freaky, but they are. For some reason, the farmers in Crop Circle Country have always been the worst for me. Maybe it's the Uncanny Valley effect. God, and the way they whistle as well. Ugh. I think Check 6 must have decided to increase the size of the levels towards the end of development because there are long stretches of nothingness, just almost barren environmental details. And then there are hundreds of gems per level, more than previous games, so you have to scour these swathes of nothingness to collect them, and a few of the 10 dragonflies per level. Look at these end of level portals, by the way. This is what happens when Spyro goes through one. That's not a portal, he just hits the wall on the other side. How is this a portal? There are some repeating minigames here too, like sliding down slopes. They're different slides, but it's the same idea. Just don't fall down. This one, in Monkey Monastery, has 2 levels of difficulty, both rewarding Spyro with a dragonfly. Except they obviously couldn't get the voice actor back to record a line saying something like, "If you try again, you'll get another dragonfly," because Sparks jumps in to say it. I'm not even convinced it's a unique Sparks voiceover, because you can usually tell when Sparks is reading the correct text. When you finish the harder variant, the monkey will say the same thing he did the first time. So this to me is an obvious example of last minute addition, and sometimes a character will not have any voiceover but the text will be there. It's inconsistent. There are missing visual and sound effects even for something as important as getting another life. The sound for that is completely absent. I hate the tank sections. The honey marsh slides seem to be completely broken. I managed to get the baby dragon's kites without using ice breath. The Luau Island pigs sound like the professor from Spyro 2 and 3. Sparks will not shut up and constantly stops you in your tracks to give you tutorial messages. But on the other hand, there's a dragonfly called Tushy Station, which has to be a reference to Star Wars. There's also an Indiana Jones callback in Jurassic Jungle.
Jim, still fresh, 3 days. They're following us!
That's kind of winning me over, not gonna lie. Wait, Cinder? This game might have been ahead of its time. Here's a big problem though. You never know when you can enter the portal to fight Ripto, the only boss fight in the game. It just turns on after you reach a certain percentage with no heads up. You'll only find out if you run past and see that it's suddenly got a portal inside. Also, there are 3 versions of the fight. After beating the first version and seeing the credits roll, you'll get access to Sparks' Gem Finder ability. Beating the 3rd version of the fight will let you see the true ending of the game, because the 3rd version only happens when you get 100% of the dragonflies and gems. But man, this boss fight sucks. Ripto will conjure an ice shield, so you keep hitting him with fire breath until he loses it, and then you can flame his lizard butt. Fight over. In the 2nd version, he has a fire shield to his arsenal, which you beat exactly the same way, except with ice breath. For the 3rd phase, he turns into a monster, so you have to dodge the ice shockwaves created when he smashes his scepter down on the ground. Randomly, the scepter will start crackling, so you need to hit it with electric breath and do that 6 times. Trouble is, because the scepter malfunctioning is completely random, you might be dodging Ripto for ages. It's so monotonous. Also, look at his scepter. It has the classic ruby tip like Spyro 2, even though we've seen in cutscenes that he now has a disco ball on top. So I don't really know what happened there. This game is just a brilliant disaster. Why brilliant? Well, because even with all these issues, it still works. I still managed to complete it 100%. Check 6 and Equinoxe, despite being mistreated by Universal, managed to ship a functioning game in the time frame they were allotted, and I think that's amazing. Also, fun fact, the original creative director of the game, Joel Goodsell, who actually quit before the game launched, went on to join Insomniac and worked as a lead designer on Marvel's Spider-Man and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, then becoming a design director on Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Let's look at that message at the end of the credits again. Your work is you. Don't let you down. He must have taken that to heart. I'm sure Check Six and Equinoxe were full of talented people like him. They were just let down by awful management on the part of Universal. It's such a shame what happened to Spyro Enter the Dragonfly. But you know what? In this current gaming climate, it's refreshing to see something so human. This game, for all its flaws, is the result of people working as hard as they could to produce something fun in a deadline they had no control over. They didn't succeed, but that's life. Sometimes you don't succeed, but you learn and you grow and you go on to achieve greater things. Except for you, Universal, you'll always suck. Thanks for watching this video. Please smash the like button if you enjoyed this look back at Spyro 4, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future videos, have a wonderful day or night wherever or whenever you are, and I'll see you next time.